Hey everybody, this is Gemini Gray here, down in the man cave basement, the very cluttered man cave basement I might add. Please excuse the mess. What I'm doing today is I have just received by FedEx this lovely monstrosity, the KR Multicase 800 aluminum wheeled figure case. So we're going to be cracking this sucker open and giving you a little preview of what is inside and what you get for it. Alright, well, first give you an idea of the scale. I figured I'd put my substantial personage in. I'm 6'1" and pounds, so you can give you an idea that this case is substantially tall. It's aluminum, so it is very heavy, heavier than I actually expected. But since we have extendable handle in the back and wheels on the bottom, as well as a couple of handles here that we'll look at later, the weight is actually more reassuring than actually cumbersome. Not going to be a carry-on bag for an airlines, I don't think. I'm not familiar with what their weight requirements are, but I suspect even unloaded, not going to be carrying this on any airport and putting any kind of overheads. Alrighty guys, as I mentioned earlier, it's a very large case, very solidly built aluminum. As far as handles go, we've got the one here on the top. We also have the extendable rolling handle, and then we also have the side handle. The handles are all very sturdy on there. Has a front hinged top. Here's what the side hinges look like. Again, very sturdy looking hinges. Got the KR Multicase label here on the front. And then for the latches, we have one latch on the side, or at the top. Same down here. And one nice feature that I liked is it has combination locks. With here and here to keep your little man safe from prying eyes. The only problem that I've had so far with it, as you see, there's little black rubber feet, so that way you can stand it flat, help support it if you lay it on the side. You've got 4 of them, one on each corner here. There's ones I had on my particular model, all on the side were fine. However, I did run into some issues where, as I was coming down the stairs, if I can learn to focus the camera, one of my little feet on the bottom came off. I'll show you here. It looks like they're riveted on and just had some problems with the rivet. Let me just close it back up here and I'll flip it now around and show you the bottom side. One other thing I noticed also with it is some of the casing, the actual things, seems like if you to be laid flat to be able to really easily close it up here. Okay, just go ahead and close it back up to give me one more thing to have to unbutton when I do it. Again, the top, give you a view of the sliding, telescoping out handle for the rolling out. And again, the wheels very sturdily on there. These are thick. These aren't like hollow, easily broken off wheels. And of course we have the foot paddings here at the bottom. You can see that there's 2 up here at the top and only 1 down here at the bottom, and you can kind of see the hole where this originally went. The other ones were not loose at all. This one's a little loose, that one's secure, and then this one right here is just really, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just really loose, like the rivet's not in there good. So I'm going to contact their customer service. I've heard they've got a pretty good history with folks that have dealt with them, so we'll give them a buzz, see how they want to handle it, and I'll update the review once I get that back. But going back in, and we'll get it opened up here. Again, what we'll do is we'll get it up on its side. If my poor little geek arms can manage it. Not the best idea to put it up on a middle-sized table, I guess, if you're not wanting to get a workout. No, in all seriousness, it is heavy, but it is a very sturdy case. I feel like this sucker could be dropped out of a car or something down the flight of stairs and you would not have any problems with the models inside. Alright, open it up. I'll kind of pan out, kind of get you an idea of what we're looking at. Inside is lined with kind of a, I guess it's a vinyl or something in there. One nice thing I liked when I looked at it is you've got the set of hinges, one on the top and then one on the bottom. They support the door, so you're not going to have problems with that warping, or if any weight gets put on it. It seems like it just supports it a lot better. Another nice feature that I liked is the inclusion of you've got storage compartments here on the top. As you can see, plenty of room even for 6th edition's big old tome of a book. And on the bottom, and they also include this KR Multicase movement tray. So that was a nice little touch, I thought. But plenty of room to put your codexes, your rule books, things of that nature. If they have nothing else in it, it's also a good size for the accessory box too, which I'll show you that later on. If you haven't noticed yet, there are 4 of the card cases for KR Multicase. Unlike some of the other aluminum cases, this actually has the card cases inside, which is kind of nice. I'll show you one thing I like about it is, as you can tell, there's 2 boxes shelved, and then you see there's a slight gap because there's actually a middle support shelf there that helps support the cases, and also it means that you don't have to go pull every box out just to get to the one on the bottom. Some of my previous cases had that problem, and it was one of the aggravating things, so I thought that was a neat feature. Alright, we're going to pop open the cases here. As you can tell, the cases all have plastic handles, carrying handles here. So if you want to just carry it around solo, you can. As I mentioned, you can buy the cases separately. So if your army changes out, things go differently, you can always buy more cases and outfit the inside of the case however you like. So we're going to pop this sucker open here. It may take me a second. Using just one hand. No jokes, please. Alright, so inside we've got a blue layer of top foam here. Take that off and put it to the side. This is actually one of the 2 Valkyrie sets that I have. This particular one is a very deep foam case where there's just one layer. You can see that there's a top layer here where infantry can go into, and it's made so that will lay right down on top of your Valkyrie. You can see plenty of room there for the Valkyrie. You also see that there are spots for tanks to go in, laying laying on their side. This particular one holds 1 Valkyrie and 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles. I think these are mainly made for a Chimera, although you may be able to fit a Lehman Russ in there. They're very deep, along with side pockets for your turrets. This particular one, because there's the hatch is open, we've got an infantry model, is a little cramped, but this material is very soft. This is very soft blue foam. KR Multicase says that it will not rub off the paint on your models. I always use a matte varnish, or depending on what it is, a different kind of varnish on all mine, so not really worried about that so much. It also has a little bit of give to it. So if you have a model that's pretty tight, you can put the model down in there and apply a bit of pressure, and the foam will mold around it. I wouldn't recommend it for really delicate pieces with blades, weapons, things like that. But it works pretty good as far as that. You can see he's kind of squished in a little tight. The foam's got a little bit of give to it. You can see where it's a little bit distended there. But also, the foam's going to protect it. You've got the cardboard case that's going to protect that. And then, of course, you've got the aluminum all the way around it. So, again, going back, I could drop that thing off the roof of a building, and my poorly painted models would survive just as well. We're going to close this back up here, and I'll show you some of the others in here that I've got. See if I don't knock over everything in the process here. Close in, The handle also kind of keeps things closed. I like that. Makes it a little irritating when you're trying to open it up, but the handle kind of pops out and catches there. So if you're picking up the case and stuff, you're not going to have to worry about too much about that just flipping open and models flying everywhere. I think this one is another one of my Vendetta cases of a different design. They do, and it is supplied with, I have to figure out where I laid them. They come with little label pouches. They're clear pouches that you can put labels in, so you don't have to go rummaging around in your cases to find out exactly what's in them. Again, this is another case that is, in fact, a Valkyrie case, but it's a little bit different design in that you have an infantry tray that goes on top of the entire thing. This will hold 50 infantry models. You can see that a couple of different, these are infantry, Imperial Guard models, not painted. I'm still in progress on them, so please excuse that. You can see their weapons stuff, different angles, more or less fit down in here. Only one that's different is the sergeant here, and his weapon just does not quite fit. But the way it lays down, it still lays down there without any real problems. So I'm pretty secure there in all these guys. And I've actually put a couple of models in here so you can get a better look. You can see where the Valkyrie here rests into with this particular tray. And you've also put a couple of my Lehman Russes in here. Turrets complete. This one particularly holds 2 Lehman Russes or Chimeras, along with spaces for removable turrets. I've got a couple of the Vendetta twin link las cannons that I've put in there. Obviously I wouldn't just toss them in there normally, but for display purposes. One thing I'm not real sure about how I feel, you'll see here this bit of foam is not entirely cut, and that is so you have the option of whether or not you want to take it out to put the flight stand in there. If you take it out, the flight stand will lay down in there like that. The piece of foam you removed actually lays down along the nose of that Vendetta Valkyrie, so you're not scratching the paint up there. One of the things I didn't like about old previous cases, I don't like the pluck foam cases. I always looked like I had just a big hot mess when it was all said and done with. So I'm not real thrilled about having a cut or piece away. I understand why they did it. Everything else, the other pieces of foam here, as you can see, are not, they are completely cut. You can pull them out without having a tear or anything there. You can see exactly how deep that tray is, with that piece got cut out of there. So that's a bit of that. That's the only pieces about the card cases that I'm not sure. I'm a little iffy there. So that's a couple of the Valkyrie boxes. We'll take a look here at a couple what's in the bottom 2 boxes here. Alrighty, let's take a look at these last 2 cases and see what we've got. As I said, they have labels that will be eventually applied, so I won't be having such a mysterious time of mystery. Alright, same deal. We've got the blue foam cover. I've already put some stuff in here. One thing I noticed is that you have some trays that are full length to the card, and others are half length, like this heavy weapons tray. I had initially had some concern because, as you probably can see there, for these little heavy weapon squads, like that gentleman's sword is sticking up. And there's other little bits that were kind of poking up out of it. I actually had this sitting in there for a while now, top foam box, everything closed up, and didn't have any kind of breakage, didn't even have any bended. This is another one of the half sets where you can have, let's see, 25 infantry there. Again, you see where these guys are really a little too tall to be put in here. But again, with the cover sheet on, the card had no problems whatsoever. And you can see they can stack these infantry. You have 2 sheets of those, and then you have another half sheet where it is just the 2 vehicles, being able to put 2 Russes, 2 Chimeras, things like that. If they are too tall and you want to take the turret off, you have some side space there. This sheet over here is another vehicle, and then you have some spots for your Sentinels. You could use it from some other stuff, but Sentinels, since this is an Imperial Guard set, that's kind of what we're looking at to use there. Let me just put this back together here before we move on. The half sets are kind of neat because then you can swap in and out of the cases as the case may be. No pun intended. Let's make sure we put our cover sheet back in there. Alright, and let's look at the last case that we have in here. If you happen to be keeping count, I believe, and I could be very wrong on this, I don't remember the exact count, but for infantry, see I've got more sheets here. Infantry, I could fit probably 100, 150 easily infantry models in here. Again, we've got another 2 half sheets of infantry holding 25 each. We have more of the tank sheets, and that's what we've got down here in the bottom. So even for Imperial Guard and all their many loving tanks, these cases can do the job. One thing while I've got it in here and I'm talking about the half, I wanted to also touch briefly on another neat little thing that I ordered separately from this case, and that is the little accessory case from KR Multicase. Small aluminum case. I believe there's a all silver or there's a black one. Again with the logo. And the neat thing about the little case is, you notice it is about this perfectly the size to fit in half that. So if you leave out one of your trays, you can stick it in there with no problems whatsoever. You could take out the movement tray from the bottom of there, and it would fit down in there as well. So, and what do you put in this, you might pretty tell? Well, neat thing is, it's got clips on all sides, so the whole thing comes off and separates. And then what you have is a lined container inside. If you want to use that for a movement tray, you want to use that for dice rolling, as they might suggest. The old mini rulebook used to fit in here just perfect. We'll see if they do a new one that fits in there. These are just the instructions how to set the combination there. And then here are the little pouches that I've been talking about. Just clear stick-on adhesive pouches that will go in there, and you can slip and slide paper inside, marking you what's in what case. But dice, accessories, whatnot, it's a handy dandy accessory case, keeps everything nice and neat and organized, and as I said, it fits right in there. I can close this up, slap it in my case, and that's one less thing to have to keep track of. And pretty much with that, guys, I think that wraps it up. As I mentioned, I've got an email into customer service about the feet issue. But other than that, I'm really super satisfied with the case. I think that I could literally drive a Lehman Russ over it and it would survive. That is the KR 800 aluminum wheeled case. I think it is well worth the money. I think the greatest testament is I got it today in the mail. The wife asked me how much I had paid for it, told her, and she looked at it and said, well, I think that's worth it. So if your spouse actually okays the fact that you spent money on a case for your little mins, your little dolls to play with, I think that's probably a good sign. So guys, that's what wraps it up. As I said, I'll keep you updated with what response I get from customer service, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.